Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has vowed to sue Big Pharma for its role in the drug and opioid crisis here in Canada, ending the oxymoronic safer supply of illicit drug strategy and orienting that funding into recovery and treatment-oriented programs.
We're not going to just add more expense to the government. I'm going to pay for it by cutting off the taxpayer-funded unsafe supply of opioids, by suing the drug companies that caused this crisis in the first place, and by getting rid of back office bureaucracy. We want frontline, community-based, bottom-up organizations that get people off drugs. After the lost Liberal decade of rising overdoses and crime and costs, we can't afford a fourth term. We need to stop the drugs for a change with a new Conservative government. Thank you.
There's certainly the perception by a lot of Canadians that a lot of downtown cores are basically out of control. And certainly there's also the perception that around places like safe supply, safe injection sites, that things are worse, that there are people openly stoned in the street, people are getting CPR performed on them in the street, there's needles around in the street, there's excrement in the street. Now, one of the pillars of the Swiss approach to their drug problem is trying to decrease harm to society. I would note that that is not part of the Canadian approach.
The announcement comes on the heels of the discovery that nearly 51,000 Canadians have died across Canada due to opioids since 2016. And the announcement also featured a breakdown of alarming crime statistics.
The result? The Liberal violent crime wave has made many communities unrecognizable. Violent crime is up 50%. Gun crime has soared 116%. Gang homicides are up 78%. And extortion is up 46%. Auto theft is up an eye-watering 357%.
While the Conservatives plan to scrap the Liberals' catch-and-release bail laws and unleash a fierce crime crackdown in Canada to reclaim our streets, the plan to fund recovery by crushing Big Pharma will finally make repeat offender corporations from this trillion-dollar pharmaceutical industry pay for their role in the death, destruction, and suffering of countless Canadians. Poilievre further explains how they plan to tackle this issue head-on, emphasizing a results-driven approach that prioritizes tangible outcomes over empty bureaucratic buzzwords.
As you correctly pointed out, our platform is to fund 50,000 treatment spaces over the next 4 years. We've lost 50,000 people to overdoses. So in honor of those we've lost, we want to treat the same number of people. We are going to fund treatment facilities with a proven track record of getting people off drugs. And we're going to use a new pay-for-performance model. So instead of just having organizations fill out application forms, get grants, and then file the paperwork to tell us what they did later on, what we will do is pay organizations that successfully get addicts drug-free through verified drug testing and confirmation after the fact. We'll pay a higher fee to organizations that help tougher cases, and obviously a more modest fee for addictions treatment that is less severe, for a less severe case. So think about organizations like the Oak Centre in Winnipeg, Harvest House in Ottawa and in Moncton, or countless others like them. What they do is they take people off the streets, they give them treatment, they give them detox, counseling, group therapy, physical exercise, sweat lodges for First Nations, job placement, housing transition, and they get them back on their feet. Organizations that have a proven track record of doing that are going to get funded from my program, and so that they can expand. Those that are starting from scratch but that have the drug-free doctrine, they will get some seed funding to get up and off the ground so that they can start operating. But their go-forward funding will be based on how long they keep prior addicts off drugs. We have to start paying for results. not for buzzwords on application forms.
Poilievre then details his strategy to hold drug companies accountable by, like I said, suing them for their role in this crisis, using the proceeds to fund a comprehensive plan for treatment and recovery. He also criticizes current Liberal leader Mark Carney for being the new boss, basically the same as the old boss.
We will bring in tougher sentences for domestic abusers, and we will shut down the drug dens, defund the opioids, lock up the major traffickers of those opioids, and provide 50,000 treatment spaces to save the lives of loved ones who have become addicted. And only a new Conservative government will put Canada first for a change. The people who work hard, pay their taxes, and play by the rules. We'll cut income taxes by 15% for the average worker and senior, so that hard work pays off. We'll take the sales tax off new homes and incentivize municipalities to speed up permits, free up land, and allow more home building so people can actually afford a place to live after the decade of Liberal housing crises. We'll take capital gains tax off anyone who reinvests their proceeds here in Canada to build our economy. We'll repeal the Liberal no new development laws to unleash the strength of our economy and stand up to the Americans from a position of might.
As Canadians head to the polls for their second snap election at the end of this month, they face a very clear choice: a bold, accountability-driven approach under Pierre Poilievre's leadership, or more of the same from the Liberals and things like their failed billion-dollar safer supply of illicit drugs strategy that has only contributed to disorder and chaos on the streets. For Rebel News, I'm Tamara Ugolini. For all of our election coverage and to support our work, please head to campaign2025.com. That's campaign and the numbers 2025.com. Thanks so much in advance for your support.